Okay, so we start the movie and we're introduced to one of the longest opening titles in the history of ever. Seriously, if I was to do it in real time, I would waste half the time just talking on the fucking credits, so let's get on with this. Okay, then the actual movie begins and we're introduced to a shot of the ship, the Nostromo, with some text, and it tells us it's a crew of 7 and it's a mining ship and all the other usual bollocks. Now, I'm going to say I absolutely love this fucking film, but it's slower than hell for the first half hour, so I'm just going to get through this as quick as I can. Okay, so the crew wake up. They have breakfast. We're introduced to most of them: Captain Beard, Kane, Ripley, Ash, Lambert, Parker, Brett, and the kiddie, Jones. Captain Beard goes to the computer room to find out where they are, find out they're not home yet and they got a distress call from a planet, and the token black guy Parker is pissed off about this. They detach the main ship from the towing part, go on to the planet. Ship gets fucked when they land, so they're stranded. And Captain Beard, Kane and Lambert put on these funky looking spacesuits and they go walk around on the surface of the planet for God knows how long, looking for whatever it is that's making the distress call. While they do this, Ash, that creepy looking motherfucker, is watching them on the monitors, and then guess what they find? They find this big motherfucking ship which is either designed off a wishbone or some gigantic alien penis. But seriously man, it looks like a fucking wishbone. Look at it and tell me it's not. So being the fucking bright geniuses that they are, they decide to go and look into this thing. And meanwhile, back on the ship, Ripley's sitting there and she's like, fuck me, I wonder how many sequels they can make and how much money I can wring out of this franchise. And then she's like, oh shit, I don't think that's a distress call, I think that's a warning. And then she suggests this to Ash that she should put on a suit and go after him, and he's all like, no, what's the point? By the time you get there, they'll know if it's a warning or not. You know this motherfucker is up to something. So back with Captain Beard and his lot, they're walking around the alien ship, and then look what they fucking find. They find a big alien sitting in a chair. Mind you, it is dead though, but fuck me, the title to this film really is paying off now. So they examine the alien and they find this big old hole in its chest, and we don't know where it came from, but for all we know, he could have been sitting in a chair jerking off and then his heart exploded, which caused his chest to explode. Who knows? But anyways, Kane finds a hole in the floor, and in a typical Hollywood situation, he decides to go and explore down there. And he ends up in a room full of fucking eggs. And because this fucker is the brains of the groups, he goes and examines them and one of them opens. And because this is Hollywood, any sensible man would not stick their face into this thing and see what's in there, but Kane is not a fucking sensible man. He decides to have a peek in this thing and then BOOM! He gets face fucked by something. So, Captain Beard and Lambert drag him all the way from the alien ship back to their ship, and they want to be let back in, but Ripley's not letting them. Because unlike Kane, you know, this bitch is smart, she's got fucking brains. But that creepy guy Ash is a total dickhole when he lets him into the ship. So they cut off Kane's helmet and they see this big creepy spider looking thing with these huge ball sacks slapped on the side of his face. They try to remove it, but the tail wraps around Kane's throat, choking him. So then they try to cut its fingers off. And then as they do that, they cut the finger open and acid pours out and starts eating through the floor. The acid eventually stops, and then they just realise they're going to leave this fucking thing alone and let it face fuck Kane. It's supposedly feeding him oxygen, but it's got its fucking dick down his throat, man. That is just wrong on so many levels. And then later on, it's not even on Kane's face anymore, so in typical Hollywood style, Captain Beard, Ash and Ripley decide to go and look for it. And it's all like Humpty Dumpty Tum, just looking for this thing, and then BLAH! It jumps out and it lands on Ripley's shoulder, but it's dead anyway, so there's no need to panic. Especially since Captain Beard's there and he's all protective. Ripley's like, thank God I saved you. So they pick it up with a tray and they're prodding it around, they're examining it, and Ripley wants them to get rid of it, but Captain Beard's like, no, Ash wants to keep it, let him keep it. And she's like, why? And he's like, look, just shut up, you can come to my room later, suck my dick, and it'll make you feel better. Well, he doesn't really say that, but he should. Parker and Brett have fixed the ship, so they back off in the space and they're heading home. And then Kane wakes up and they're all like, yay, Kane's awake. And he doesn't remember what happened on the planet, but all he knows is he's fucking hungry, so they go and have something to eat before they go back to sleep. So they're nomming on lunch, they're having a little joke around, and then Kane starts choking. It's the kind of choking when he's just had some guy shoot his load in his mouth and he's like, oh, the taste! And then Kane freaks out, he has a spaz attack on the table! And then, boom! And then he has a little bit more of a spaz attack, and then boom, it comes out and it's a penis! Actually, it's the alien, and it looks around, and Parker grabs a knife and he's like, yo, don't fuck with me, man! And then looks up at him and it goes, are you my mummy? Before it dives off the table and then goes off somewhere. So before they go and look for this thing, they decide to give Kane a proper burial, so they wrap him up in their old soiled underwear from the incident and shoot him off into space. Nice one, guys. So the crew gets some nets and some cattle prods and a motion tracker, and they're going to go after the little penis alien and get it off the ship. They split up into two groups. Captain Beard goes with Lambert and Ash, and Ripley goes with Parker and Brett. So Ripley's group is going along and they get something on the motion tracker and they find it in this little locker and they open the locker and it's the cat. So they get it in the net, but then Brett lets it go and Parker's all pissed off. He's like, yo man, go get that motherfucker back. So Brett goes off on his own, and you know in a situation like this with this creepy alien like running around the ship or whatever and you're going off on your own, you're going to get fucked. And that's exactly what happens. The penis alien ain't a little penis anymore, it's a big motherfucking monster. So it grabs Brett and takes him off to its love dungeon or whatever, I don't know. And now the crew are really shitting in their pants. Captain Beard realises that the alien is probably using the air ducts to get about on the ship. So again, typical Hollywood thing, he goes, I know, I'm going to go into the air ducts and I'm going to flush the son of a bitch out. So there goes Captain Beard on his own in the air ducts with nothing but a flashlight and a flamethrower, while the others use the motion trackers to keep tabs on him and find out where he is. But then, dun dun dun, the trackers are picking up a second blip on the screens. And oh man, something bad's happening and we got creepy music and shit's going down. And they're all like, get out of there, get out of there. And Captain Beard's crapped another pair of underpants in the space of an hour. So Captain Beard goes down the ladder and he's got the flashlight and he looks down one end, he looks down the other and there it is and it's like, I'm going to rape you. So the remaining members of the crew are now on Brown Trousers Alert 5. So Lambert suggests that they should just get in the shuttle and just get the fuck out of there. But the problem is the shuttle only holds 3 and there's 4 of them left. 5 if you include the cat. And Ripley's brilliant idea is to carry on Captain Beard's plan. Remember when I said that this bitch has got brains? Nah, forget that. So now Ripley's second in command and she's going to go ask the ship's computer mother for some advice. And it turns out that the company she works for, Weyland-Yutani, know of the alien's existence. They want the alien and the crew, you know, they're expendable, so they're fucked. And it turns out Ash is the company's spy. So Ripley has a quick hissy fit at Ash and then she tries to get away but he keeps closing all the doors on her. And Ripley's all like, bitch, open that motherfucking door, and then all of a sudden he's got milk dribbling down the side of his head. So then Ash pimp smacks Ripley around, throws her onto the side, and then he rolls up a magazine. And maybe this is some weird future fetish or something, I don't know, but then he tries and jams the magazine down her throat like he's giving her oral sex. But don't worry, here come Parker and Lambert to save the day. So Parker's smacking Ash up around a bit, and then Jesus shit, Taco, he's knocked Ash's fucking head off. He's a fucking robot. And then Lambert goes into a hysterical sissy fit and then just jabs a fucking cow prod into the robot's back. So they have the brilliant idea and they turn Ash back on. And he tells them that they can't kill the alien so they're fucked. And then Parker sets him on fire. So with 3 of them now left, they now decide to take the shuttle, so they're going to blow up the fucking ship. Hopefully with the alien on it and them not on it. So Ripley's going to set the self-destruct sequence while Parker and Lambert go and get some oxygen. And so while they're doing that, holy fuck, the alien's watching them. And then Parker's all like, bitch, get the fuck out of the way. But Lambert is so scared she can't move, so then Parker tries to be a hero. But the alien pimp smacks Parker with his towel and then he grabs him and he's like, hey man, you stay away from her, she's my bitch. So the alien takes a big old chunk out of Parker's head, but you gotta give Parker credit, man, he died a hero at least. Ripley's been hearing the whole thing on the intercom, so she's rushing off to go and save the day. I don't know how she's gonna do that, but whatever. But then back with Lambert and the alien's going towards him, he's like, give me some sugar, baby. We don't see what happens, but my best guess is that the alien raped her with its tail, and then by the time Ripley gets there, she sees their dead bodies. So Ripley then goes back to activate the self-destruct sequence, and then she's running about with her cat, and then all of a sudden she runs into the alien. So she drops the cat and then runs away, and then the alien's all like, cat in the microwave, my favourite. So Ripley goes back to deactivate the self-destruct sequence, I'm not sure why, but it don't work. Ship is still fucked. So she makes her way back to the shuttle, alien isn't there, and the kitty's still there, so I guess it wasn't hungry. So she gets into the shuttle, straps herself in, launches, gets to a far enough safe distance, and then BOOM! Ship explodes with the dodgiest effect I've ever seen. You know it came out of the 70s, man. So Ripley's won, and now she's going to go to sleep, so she decides to strip naked. Well, not really naked. And then just as she's sitting the computer, blah! Oh man, it's the alien, it's on the shuttle! And Ripley shits her panties and runs into a storage locker. As she's watching the alien, she comes up with this brilliant idea, so she puts on a spacesuit. Comes out and sits in a chair, straps herself in, and then she starts playing with the buttons. Hits the right button which shoots steam out and it knocks the alien out of the wall. And then she blows the hatch of the shuttle and it sucks the alien out, but then it grabs hold of the doorway and then it pulls itself back in, but she shoots it with a harpoon gun and it flies out. She lets go of the gun, but then the emergency hatch drops down so the gun doesn't leave. So the alien isn't going anywhere, so then it crawls into the exhaust and then Ripley hits the exhaust button and then it blows up and the alien's like, I'm dying! and it's all over, and then Ripley goes to sleep, and that was pretty much Alien.
Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! Get her up!